Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Interact podcast. My name is Josh Haynam. I'm the co founder and CEO at Interact. Today, I'm joined by Cyn Meyer, who is the founder of Second Wind Movement, has a very cool quiz, and also just a very innovative is a good word for it because I haven't seen it in your space a whole lot. The way that you've gone to market by educating people, there's lots of great content you have on YouTube and every other channel. So I want to get into that a little bit later. But first of all, kick us off. Just tell us how you decided to do a quiz and how you went from this whole body of work that you have of content and then pared that down into a quiz, which I think is also interesting for people to hear about. So how'd you hear about it, and how'd you go from this awesome work that you have into a quiz?
Okay, great question. So I'm trying to think way back. So not too far back, but 2017, 18 is when I started my business, and it's a retirement life coaching business. And I was always into content first, serve first, audience first, right? I happen to have a 20 plus year background in marketing. So I was really involved with SEO and content creation for other brands. And so I knew that that was very important from the get-go. And how I stumbled upon Try Interact was through an Amy Porterfield interview of Chanti Zach. And then I took Chanti's quiz. And then I got into her course, purchased her course, loved how everything felt really custom tailored to me, and everything was served up to me based on my pain points and what I was looking for. And I loved that. So I created a quiz from there. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I want to double click on your career in marketing. So you had 20 years in marketing. Were you at an agency? Were you working in bigger companies? Where was that?
So I was typically the marketing director, wearer of all hats for a wide range of industries, from nonprofit arts to, toward the end, financial advisors. And that's where I really was able to see one-on-one the older adult audience transition into retirement. And so that was pulling on my heartstrings because the honeymoon period was ending and all these other personal signposts that led me there. But I did partake in a PPC ad agency as well. And so that's really where I dove into SEO.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So how did you, because like doing the content first approach is unique, at least the way that it seems across the board, right? A lot of at least it seems like a lot of like directors of marketing, it's so much paid spend. It's
Oh, yeah.
less on like, oh, we're going to create really quality content. How did you
Yes.
like manage to pull that off for 20 years, especially 20 years ago? Because I'm thinking
Yes.
back to 20 years ago and I'm like, oh my gosh, like it was like pulling teeth to get anybody to even like try to make content.
Listen, I was having those conversations with board members of the art organization where it was like, we don't have to advertise in print media right now. We need to go online and get social profiles going. And so email list is important, those types of things. And so I totally hear you. And it was a long game convincing with other brands. For instance, patient advocacy was another industry that I had worked in. And so it was a lot of, yes, I'm going to work on these paid ad campaigns as well as the long game. And so I just had to kind of, really stick it out and just like perform in the other areas and make sure that everything was streamlined as far as messaging and delivery and connection and getting, CEO and that type of information out to the end user. And so based on my results at the ad agency, which was millennial based, right? Like the team was like, go, 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 we're in it now. And so that's really where they saw quick results. So it's kind of like a PPC agency that didn't really use PPC to gain their own clients. So that's how it was like, okay, we really know that SEO is a thing, content first, value first, that type of thing was like really working in the industry. And so I was able to bring that type of historical evidence to different industries moving forward. But I would have to add the disclaimer. This is a long game. We're just, providing free, valuable content, period, that kind of a thing.
100%, 100%. How has that long game like played out in your own business? Obviously, you had like 20 years of doing content within other companies, but
Yes.
I'd imagine it feels different once it's your own. You're like, I know this is going to take time, but
Yes.
how do
Yes.
you like what kind of things do you look for? Like what kind of metrics, if it's metrics, or like feedback, if it's feedback, do you look for to kind of give you the reassurance like, hey, I'm on the right track with this
Yes.
educational content that I'm putting out?
It has been an up and down, as most entrepreneurs would probably relate to,
Yeah.
journey. And so I knew that it was important from the beginning. And so I was doing consistent articles based on research, having writing guidelines. And I personally wrote and researched the first 100 articles. And then
Hmm.
I was able to hire a teammate who was able to carry that on for the next 100, let's just say for easy numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
so, without burning ourselves out on like this content creation machine, we just kind of like did that consistently week after week since 2017, 18. And then in 2023, we saw the exponential growth. So we saw
Hmm.
nothing for a while. And I was doing paid ads in 2020 just to kind of get other revenue secured to keep that going. And then algorithms change. And
Yeah.
so even in paid and organic, and then there's hammers that Google throws down with their update, their core algorithm updates. And so I'm one of those publishers who has felt that from 2024. And so
Hmm.
I'm now working to get back from there.
Hmm.
But so just long story short, there's just different like peaks and valleys to every different platform. So even with, Facebook changing targeting options in 2014, let's say, right, with the iOS update. So that was like a shift in their platform and availability. And then there was like the SEO one for Google. And then now there's like the AI opportunity. And so things are always changing. And it's about like balancing out those peaks and valleys and just adjusting, but really sticking to the core of we're delivering the same value. We want to transform the client in like a very core wheelhouse way. This is what we're offering. And so different entry points into, how you deliver the content and how you sell and offer to the audiences is going to change and shift throughout the different updates and all that. But I will say that um, quizzes were very helpful in helping spoon feed people what they want and tailoring information, right?
Hmm.
So we could add tags after, they get their result. And, feeling unique and heard and seen is so wonderful, right? And so the fact that we can create different results based on a quiz is so helpful. And the fact that we can, you know, uh, create the quiz based on the stats and analytics and try interact is so powerful. And so that was able, that provided me a way to like hand feed or spoon feed different solutions to a different segment of my audiences, if that makes sense. And so organically, just organic traffic wise, the quiz was just like a nice free offer to have on my site, especially at its peak. And then there's like a small upsell on the results page, if take it or leave it, right? So it's very helpful. And I always say everything that I publish, whether it's free or hardcore paid, high ticket, has the same goal of transforming the client. So a quiz is just a nice way to tailor more of the information to people.
I like that. I like that it kind of just weaves into everything else that you already have. I think that's when it performs the best. Whenever we get somebody coming in that's like, I want to do a quiz from scratch and like give me the best idea. I'm like, I don't think there's not actually a best idea. It's just going to be whatever weaves into what you already have. Um,
Yes.
I had two questions as you were talking there because that was a lot of good stuff. First one, where are you sourcing your ideas? I mean, from 2017 to 2018 till now, that's 7 or 8 years,
Yes.
right? How are you consistently pulling in ideas for like what content to create? Is it coming from conversations with your clients? Is it, through external research? Like where are you pulling those ideas in from?
Yeah, from everywhere. So it's definitely like the technical keyword search, right? And then it's also, these are the things that we're talking about in sessions. These are the pain points. These are the developments. These are the new hurdles that people are overcoming. These are the new things that people are complaining about, right? And just like stemming from there, and then how people are getting the results and real life stories are very inspirational, and just the paths that other personal development and the leaders and influencers in that space are developing toward, right? So it's like, if spirituality, for example, is becoming like a core value that people are considering as they mature in retirement, then there's so much beauty there and growth and evolution that we can tap into, and that's going to be something that creates topics for content. So it's kind of like a nice diverse range.
Yeah. That's really cool. It's like different sources, and then it just comes through, goes back out as content. So you got the main quiz that links out to other content, if I'm hearing it right? Like each
Yes.
result goes out to other content that you have.
Yes.
Perfect. Have you thought about doing like topical quizzes, like quizzes within like different verticals of content that you have, like not like at the top leading to other content, but like specifically on one particular topic?
I have not gone deeper into the quiz leads to another quiz.
Yeah, this is my new
Yeah,
favorite
tell me about it.
because the SEO is just insane. Like,
What?
it's crazy. Like, I mean, you know all the tools, right? You'll go through and you'll look at like, pick any of the topics that you're covering with your content, and then shorten it, and then just add the word quiz to the end, like retirement quiz or something like that, right? The traffic is nuts.
Oh.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so like internally at Interact, we create a lot of those quizzes as templates on our site. There's really no payoff for us because the overlap is tiny between like somebody taking one of these quizzes and wanting to make a quiz. We do it just to gather data, and we get like 500,000 visits a year on those. Like, it's really, really high. It's crazy. So that's my
tip.
new idea for you. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, because like as I'm hearing you talk, I'm just hearing, right? Like, I would imagine those different like topics that you mentioned, those are probably like pillars that you have of like, okay, we have a whole category of content on spirituality, a whole category of content on staying active, that kind of stuff. And then usually what our customers will end up doing is like, they'll do a main quiz within each pillar, and then you can do quizzes even further down the line, like specific topics, like what activity should you pick up? And then the keyword there is like, I don't know, retirement activity quiz. And those do really well.
Amazing.
Yeah. One of our clients, actually, Direct Energy, it's a Canadian energy company, just won the Content Marketing Institute award for the best content strategy for doing exactly what I just said.
No way.
Yeah. I mean, theirs was a little more like client engagement, which is also extremely cool. But it has multiple purposes. Like, you can use it for client engagement, new customer acquisition, any of those things. But yeah, it's such a cool strategy.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Yeah, because I have a framework, 5 rings of retirement, and so I can start there with 5 different pillars. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. Like, that's exactly it. I think that's pretty similar actually to some other strategies that I've seen. And it's so cool because it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's like the same content, and then you can like embed it within a post where there's like other content on the page. It's not just the quiz, right? You could explain like each of the rings below the quiz or above the quiz or whatever. And yeah, like, just hearing about your content strategy and like how long it's been working, it's like, well, perfect. Yeah, just add on quiz to the ones that are doing well. So
I love that tip. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. So I was curious to also double click on that little thing you mentioned of like the algorithm updates, right? Like, anybody that's been doing content, or maybe, I think it also dissuades a lot of people from doing content because they're like, oh, well, it's not consistent. Ads are more reliable. But I like that you said that everything changes over time. So what's your approach, having been in the game for a long time, like with your business, and you've been through the ups and downs? Like, how do you handle that? Like, how do you stay consistent where you're like continuing to put work out even if it's like during a slump where like the latest algorithm update maybe wasn't favorable to you?
I tend to just pause. So, for example, if an ad campaign is going haywire, then I just literally pause the campaign and then keep in mind the consistency. So, something is always flowing out, something is always being published. And as long as there's a long enough period of consistency and it's been given a good solid go, then I'm like, okay, if this swell is over, it's typically like 1 to 2 years. So it's like a longer swell. Then I'm like, okay, we're going to stop. And then typically there's something else that's like been building slowly. So I've always had like long game mentality, thankfully. And so that will be what I rely on throughout like the entirety of the business. And what I'm finding is that the internet is the internet and that all things link. And so this is like an example. So I wrote a book last year, published it in 2024. And so it went on Amazon, and then I'm also selling it direct. And then I ran some Facebook ads to it. And, on Amazon, it was like out there not to make a deep profit or anything, right? It's like it all connects, and it like sends signals to my site and all these things. And then there's like Facebook and YouTube channel that I've been consistent at growing in the background for like 3 years versus like 8 years, right? And so eventually there's like that point where, okay, sure, every platform has its updates and it's swell and then it like peaks, but eventually like there's this cumulative thing that grows in the background where it's like, okay, this is all one service, one business, one source, one reliable area of this brand that's offering this thing to this audience. And that kind of does like an explosion in certain aspects, if that makes sense, right? So it kind of like stands the test of fads.
No, that makes perfect sense in my brain because I think we've felt a similar thing. We started doing content for Interact in 2013, and it did feel like we started out mostly just blog, it felt like with that there was a lot more ups and downs. But then once we added YouTube, podcast, Instagram, LinkedIn,
That's a lot,
then it started to feel like, okay, like because what I heard as you were saying that, I don't know if this is what you meant, but what I heard as you were saying that is almost like the collective internet starts to know you and your brand. And so, you know, maybe that doesn't necessarily save you from the algorithms affecting you on one platform or the other, but like your recovery time is probably faster.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
And what's interesting with SEO right now, it's like you could type in a specific topic, right? And you don't know if it's the video on like a short on YouTube or the article or the AI overview that is going to reference your site, like where you're going to pop up. So that's the interesting part now. It's like, okay, just feed the collective and try your best to be consistent as possible and valuable and speak to your audience.
I know.
Without burning out.
I'm just chuckling because like, I mean, I'm sure you have a million memories of this, but like back in the day, everyone was like wanting to track every single little thing. And you're like,
totally.
The ability to track is close to nothing now. Like, even if you could track one of those things, it's not accurate because like maybe they click on the AI overview, but that's after they watched 40 minutes of your YouTube. So
exactly,
it's really your YouTube, not the AI overview.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah. I wanted to get your take on the AI stuff, like where ChatGPT factors into all this, AI overviews on Google. How has that affected things for you? What are you seeing there in terms of like what that new platform means for everything?
I'm just now starting to learn about it, and I'm learning that the opportunity is to get FAQs going if you're going to pursue SEO and do content creation and continue articles. That FAQs are where it's at. because that will be like the short, brief answer. AI overview will reference you and you'll get that link that way. And from like a content creation standpoint, you want the FAQ and whatever you publish to have that human element, because AI will pull everything that's already published, and what you want to do is add to it. You don't want to just regurgitate. You want to contribute. And so these are things that are going to be very unique to your brand and very personalized, to the point of, okay, this is a very human specific, concrete thing that I can't get from the current existing information that AI is just pulling from. I am now contributing, and that'll up your chances of being featured, is what I'm learning.
That's a very good point. Like, if you can bring something in that's from your experience or from your experience with a client, as long as the client's fine with you featuring that, then that's going to be a unique perspective. And I could imagine that being referenced in a way where it's like given as an example in the AI overview or in the chat GPT. It's like, for example, this person had this experience and this is what happened. So it can pull in like those real stories instead of having to make them up, which is like kind of what it's currently doing.
Yes, totally. Yes.
Hilarious. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Do you see that you're getting traffic from ChatGPT? I don't know if Google references it over AI yet. I don't think it does. In like Google Analytics.
I've started to hear from people who call me and schedule calls that they use ChatGPT to look for best retirement coach, and then I popped up among the list, kind of a thing. So that's promising. So yeah, I think just like more human qualities that we can contribute, the better. And there's like a really big lull to like shortcut content creation. But you know, AI is fabulous for the speed, but we got to insert the human value.
Yeah. That's a good place to wrap up, because I think that's like what we want to leave people with, because that's it, right? It's like, it's what's the actual experience, even with all the content strategy. I would imagine that like every piece that you make is based on something that you've experienced with a client, or like a problem that you've seen somebody face, that kind of stuff. And that's why you've been able to create content for 8 years.
Yes.
And the same is true with AI, but only a little bit more, which
Yes.
is cool.
Yes.
It's very cool. It's very cool. Where can people go to check out the Second Wind movement? Take your quiz if they're curious after listening, and see all your content, because that's what we've been talking about.
Yeah, secondwindmovement.com, and then /quiz will bring you to the quiz.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Cyn. This is really fun. It was cool to kind of go down history and then bring it all the way back to the future with AI. So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much.